All right, let's give Bull Streams a second here to get caught up. Both should be live now. Charts and sound should be good. Let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 29th, 2022. Qs flat on the day, up 0.09%. SPY down 0.12. We'll look at the IWM just for fun, down 1%. Okay. As we talked about yesterday, as we anticipated last week, daily sell setup is the pattern here that we are focused on. Okay, daily sell setup on the Qs, daily sell setup on the SPY, and the IWM as well. So same pattern across the board. All right, so all look lower. Now we had a pretty decent sized bar yesterday, pretty wide range bar. Not that surprising today, a little bit more of a narrow body bar, narrow range bar. But going into tomorrow with the neutral bar that we got doesn't change, our bias any. We came into today bearish on the Qs and SPY. All right. And we're going to go into tomorrow bearish as well. We talked about yesterday as well what I would need to see to no longer be bearish. I need to see a lower high form on the SPY and then take that out. So I need to see the bearish response to any kind of counter rally, and then see that response fail. So I need some kind of failure of a bearish pattern. That's what I'm looking for. Now we do have some economic data coming out an hour tomorrow before the open, so that may get things moving. There's also the possibility that we just run up and we don't really get, that lower high, and the Qs and SPY just fail on this sell setup that we have in place. That would be another example of a failure of a bearish pattern, and then I would no longer be bearish. We transition to bullish from there. But until either of those things happen, just going to stay bearish, okay, going into tomorrow. All right, so that's the plan on the Qs and SPY. We'll keep a close eye on the hourly just to see if we get kind of any undercurrent here of bullishness to make us change our bias. Otherwise, just gonna stay bearish, and that's completely fine with me, because it does seem like the scalping is easier when we're bearish. Okay. Now with the scalps, the challenge then is always, can we get filled? ACHR really good today, just so hard to get filled, just like yesterday. Yesterday this was my best symbol, even though it was such a struggle to get filled on some of these breakdowns here, and trying to add to them. And this was fantastic this morning. I still had it on a level 2 from yesterday, tried to get it, just could not get filled. 10-cent drop without ever taking out the offer. That's what you got. That's what you want out of these scalps. I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that as far as management goes, but getting filled, that's the hard part. And that was a theme throughout the day. I thought getting filled on some of these was difficult. Even the EVGO, which was a chart play, okay, this one was breaking down on the daily chart here. You can see breaking below support on the EVGO. Did play this right here. I like that the bigger sell setup right there triggered, but I went from the stop to the entry, so I wanted the next entry, so then that ended up being the next entry. Tried to play it. It was supposed to be a 7-cent stop. I think I didn't get filled until, what, 45. So yeah, it went from a 7-cent stop to a 10-cent stop, just because getting filled was hard. But that was good. In it till almost just the very end here. Just popped over 615. That trailed me out. The last piece. Took a little bit as it kind of made new lows. Each time it made new lows, trailed a little bit. But that was good play on the EVGO. It was a additional fine later in the morning, so that came up later. Nice sell setup. There's a 1, 2, 3 here on the 5-minute, so that's pretty. And then I played it as a secondary entry on the 2-minute. So that was good. That was the EVGO. I think Sammy also called a ad on it later on as it broke down here. So really nice on the EVGO. I also had a call on the AGEN. AGEN this morning we played as it was breaking out over high of the day. I initially wanted to play it this way, just with this base, and then incorporate that little bit of a pivot there. But then I noticed that 121 was the top of that base, and 123 was the high of the day. So I just added it all together and let the whole thing kind of be the entry pattern there. So yeah, so that ended up just high of the day. Here was the gap on this, gapping over these three red bars here. So that was kind of nice. So that was the entry there. About a 12-cent stop on this. First target, we took a half right here in 1 minute bar by bar. And then we took another quarter right here when it made a new high there. And then the last trail was under 224. So basically break even on the very last runner piece. All right, so that was the agent. Nice, not too bad. EVGO was a little bit better, I thought, or ended up being better, but this had already, triggered by the time EVGO triggered. So, and I why not have both? So that was fine. So that was a long on the agent. I was hoping, if this really got going, which maybe the gap wasn't good enough, so it was a little bit ambitious to look for. I was thinking, maybe $3. Probably not going to be as good as the AGRX. That was a better gap, so bigger move as a result, but still good, about a couple R's on the first three quarters, and then break even on the runner, so that's fine. So yeah, so not too bad. Gaps were okay, scalps were okay, so not a bad day, I thought, overall today. With just mainly getting filled was the hard part. I think I did a good job managing the agent. EVGO management was okay. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the ads. Could have also been more loose on the management. But either way, I'm overall fine with it. And then, the ACHR could have been really nice, but just getting filled was so difficult. All right, and there were some other scalps here and there. Doma was pretty good. This one, not too bad. You can see these really nice bases here. And this was the nice one. Yeah, right there, base. Breakdown base. Hard to get filled on this Doma, of course. So, yeah, so I thought today, good scalps, good gaps overall. Pretty good. All right. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good evening.